What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including WWE planning huge babyface turn, Karrion Kross done with WWE star buries John Cena heel turn, Legend returning at Survivor Series, WWE planning split personality storyline, plus much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now, let's hit the intro and get on to our first story. WWE planning huge babyface turn. Our top story today looks at the latest when it comes to a huge babyface turn in WWE. Fans were critical following SmackDown this week after WWE decided to revisit the Carmelo Hayes and Miz storyline. The storyline is seen as underwhelming and lifeless by many, and fans have been crying out for WWE to do something substantial with the former WWE NXT champion. Thankfully, it does look like a push of sorts is on the horizon, as according to Corey Hayes of Body Slam, WWE are planning on turning Hayes into a babyface. WWE does want Melo as a babyface, so let's see how they execute that. Hayes delivered some fantastic work as a babyface talent in NXT, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes down. Hayes is a name that fans have wanted to see pushed for some time, and the social media movement pushing for WWE to take Hayes seriously has picked up significant momentum. Karrion Kross done with WWE? Karrion Kross and Scarlett's WWE deals expire today, and as things stand, both haven't re-signed with the company. This weekend, both talents were officially moved to the alumni section of WWE.com, which is reserved for ex-WWE talent. This could obviously be a massive work, and both could be re-signing, or could have even potentially re-signed with the company already. Whilst making this into a storyline could work well, WWE seem to have a habit of making everything a storyline, and eventually, fans are going to assume that every real-life incident or event is part of kayfabe, and it'll be hard to determine what is actually transpiring. Another WWE exit confirmed. Karrion Kross may not be the only name that's exiting WWE, as today Ashanti Adonis took to X to confirm that he is leaving WWE. Adonis was mostly known for his work in the Hit Row faction, as well as his work on the NXT brand. CODY Rhodes not taking time off. There was a strong expectation amongst fans that WWE champion CODY Rhodes would be taking time off from WWE. This time off was because of Rhodes' upcoming role in the Street Fighter movie, and it has been widely reported that fellow WWE star Roman Reigns is set to take time away from WWE to film his scenes. In a new update, when it comes to Rhodes and his WWE schedule, it's been reported by Corey Hayes on X that the Street Fighter movie won't be filming until September, and the American Nightmare will not be taking time off from WWE for the movie. This is a relief, as it would have been disappointing to see the new WWE champion already taking a leave of absence. There was even speculation that WWE did the angle with Drew McIntyre on SmackDown to write Rhodes off for a few weeks. As things stand, Rhodes is advertised for all upcoming editions of the Blue brand, and is still advertised for Clash in Paris. Based on Rhodes' new storyline on TV, it's likely that he defends the title against McIntyre. There have been some calls from fans to see Randy Orton added to the match. Orton missing the Paris PLE would be rather disappointing, and with Orton in the midst of a feud with McIntyre, and him having a ton of history with Rhodes, his inclusion makes a lot of sense. WWE superstar buries John Cena heel turn. Former WWE champion Drew McIntyre is never one to hold back when it comes to his opinions, and he had a brutal yet fair stance on John Cena's heel turn. According to McIntyre, the heel run that Cena embarked on was downright terrible. Speaking to the Daily Mirror in the UK, McIntyre stated, "I've been invoking Cena's name for literally years, pointing out that we've never had a singles match, pointing out that there's certain feelings I have based on spending years and years on the road with him that basically nobody else, besides maybe like a Sheamus or Miz or R-Truth has. I said I want Cena for years, and in the past 6 months, I've kind of changed my tune when they started doing like the, let's call it, bad guy Cena. I think he basically admitted himself last week it wasn't very great. It wasn't ideal. In fact, it was terrible, and then he went back to Super Cena. MCintyre is one of the only names on the WWE roster that can bury WWE's booking like this. If a name lower down the card did this, they would likely be reprimanded, but it's basically a part of MCintyre's persona and character in 2025. It's not as if WWE themselves haven't mocked Cena's heel run, as even he on SmackDown has basically labeled it as a joke, and WWE have practically retconned the entire angle. MCintyre has been subtly building toward a match with Cena all year, and there are even rumors that MCintyre could be in the running to be Cena's final opponent. The MCintyre storyline and subsequent match makes the most sense right now. MCintyre's been wanting the match for some time, and with MCintyre acting as the self-proclaimed moral conscience of WWE, it would allow him and WWE to explore the Cena character in 2025 and culminate Cena's story in style. MCintyre would even allude to this in the aforementioned interview by stating, "But now, seeing Cena go back to his roots, proving he's a hypocrite, because we can in fact see him, which we'll discuss if I ever get the chance on the mic, or get the match with him, we'll talk about that kind of stuff, you know? Compromising his values. I don't want to give too many details because I really have a lot of here," pointing to his head, "and I want to unload on the world if I get the opportunity." Whatever WWE has planned for Cena during his last few months, hopefully a rivalry with MCintyre is on the horizon in some way, shape, or form. Drew McIntyre shoots on roster. Speaking of Drew McIntyre, he's been busy doing media to promote the WWE UK tour, and during an interview with the West Australian, McIntyre reiterated his negative comments when it comes to the WWE roster. Infamously, McIntyre critiqued the appearance of the roster, and now during the interview with the West, he stated that a lot of his friends watched the WWE product for the first time and stated that they could beat up members of the WWE roster. "I have a lot of friends that tuned into Netflix for the first time. They're like, wait a minute, I could beat up this guy." McIntyre would also take aim at members of the roster for listening to fans on social media and failing to ask and take advice from veterans like himself. "All the new guys listen to Twitter and it tells them how good they are. All these vets are here to ask. They don't ask for any advice, they don't bloody listen." It's not exactly clear what names McIntyre is referring to, but naturally, fans on social media have begun to speculate. Legend returning at Survivor Series. Survivor Series 2025 is still a few months away, but we already know one legend that will be on the show. Former WWE Women's Champion Victoria recently appeared on the Velvet Ropes, and Victoria stated that she's been invited to the upcoming PLE. Survivor Series is coming to San Diego in November, I believe, and I've already been invited. Survivor Series is the anniversary of my winning the WWE belt, my first championship. Victoria would go on to say that she was disappointed not to be present at Evolution 2, so this was likely WWE's way of making it up to her. Lack of WWE house shows causing issues? Since TKO took over WWE, the house show live event schedule has been vastly reduced. In the old era of WWE, the roster would work multiple live events in a week, but now that's changed. Live events in the US have been virtually abolished, albeit with some special shows throughout the year, as WWE likes to focus on international tours. Former world champion Gunther has spoken about this on the 6 Feet Under podcast, and according to the Ring General, the lack of live events has meant that young talent can't get reps in. This therefore means that they are coming to the main roster without the experience of knowing how to work the crowd. Right now we're in a spot where maybe it's a little bit tricky for like the younger guys that just came to the main roster, and maybe they did a year or two in NXT, and then we didn't really do much live events anymore, so I feel like it's like hard for them to get like reps in, because that's like also the thing is like training in the ring is like one thing, but having a match is like the best exercise you can really do. Gunther isn't the only WWE name to have a similar stance on this. Whilst the prior live event schedule was far too much, the importance of live events is apparent, and this may be something that WWE and TKO will need to address. WWE planning split personality storyline? It appeared on SmackDown this week that R-Truth was back to his comedic character. Truth had a backstage segment with John Cena where Truth and Cena made amends, and fans firmly believed that this was WWE pivoting on yet another major storyline. However, it doesn't look like it's that simple. According to Corey Hayes on X, WWE are planning a split personality storyline for Truth that will see him go between Truth and Ron Killings. This could work extremely well, and Truth, without a doubt, has the talent to pull it off effectively. One would assume that Truth would be the more comedic side of the persona, and the one that is presented as a babyface, whereas Ron Killings would be serious in nature and would push forwards with a heel edge. It would be great writing if both versions of Truth weren't aware of each other's existence. Truth's character shift has been a dominant topic on social media this weekend, as some fans have been questioning what happened to Truth's main event push. WWE Champion high on current star. Our final story today looks at recent comments from WWE Champion CODY Rhodes, who is admittedly a huge fan of Jacob Fatu. During the latest edition of Rhodes' video podcast, Rhodes discussed Fatu, and the current face of WWE would state that everyone within WWE is impressed with Fatu, and he would even label him as a special talent. I've been around Jimmy and Jay throughout my whole first run with WWE. Jacob is really special. He feels like a little baby here, and I want to make sure everything is right. He's special. I know everyone here is incredibly impressed with Jacob too. When something good happens for him, all of us are like, awesome. Fatu is no doubt a name that is set for superstardom in WWE. Fatu is a marvel in the sense that from his initial debut, the fans instantly decided that Fatu was a player and he was a name they were going to get behind. Rhodes isn't the first name to speak openly regarding Fatu's potential in WWE, as recently Paul Heyman labeled Fatu as a future WrestleMania main eventer, and it's hard to disagree. WWE are even producing specific merchandise for each city Fatu appears in, and this type of tailored merchandise and branding is usually reserved for the top stars such as Rhodes and John Cena. There you have it, folks, the wildest news, stories, and rumors you need to know. Don't forget to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time, back for some more wrestling content.